What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at another Open Great League team, and that team took me all the way to nearly leaderboard ELO, which is currently around 2,600. I think I'm 2,570 at the time of recording this. And yeah, this team has just been super strong. It's a modified version of the Legend team I showcased just a few days ago, actually. So it's very similar. We're only switching out one Pokemon. And I think it just makes it a little bit safer in the current meta, especially with well, I mean, I guess they're both weak to poison, but I think it's got more neutral play and it adds a little bit of fast move pressure to the team, which the team kind of struggles with a little bit. So, but yeah, so we're just kind of basing it around a very safe strategy. I've always found success when I've used three safe Pokemon together on a team, especially when they kind of go well together. So we're leading with Dunsparce. I found Dunsparce, I kind of explained it in my last video, just a great lead neutrally into everything that isn't Chestnut slash Breloom. But when is the last time you've seen either of those? And even some of the core breaking, people that are trying to use core breakers at higher elo, like I've run actually into a couple Chestnuts today. But you have two answers to that in the back, right? You're going to have Malamar, which is going to be your safe switch on this team. And as you can see, it's ranked 19 in switches. And then we're gonna have Wigglytuff in the back. And if you can save 2 shields for Wiggly, obviously you're gonna have a lot of success. Malamar sometimes needs a shield in order to flip switch or maintain switch, but it's very strong with the fast move pressure of the Psy Waves and its charge moves that it gets to relatively quickly. So let's just hop right into the battles. Okay, into the first match we have a Wiggly. So this is a pretty neutral lead, but it is a lead Dunsparce loses in the zeros. But we're actually going to play it out. And the reason we're going to play out the lead, even though we know we lose this in the zeros, is actually because Wiggly is either paired with double Mud Slappers in the back or double Ghosts, or kind of a mix of the two. So I've been seeing a lot of Drifblim Corsola backlines, or Gastro and Marowak. And we actually snipe with Wiggly because we're kind of expecting that in the back, right? They're already that low. And it is the Gastrodon in the back. They only farm up to the Body Slam, so I'm fine with letting that go. And then I think I played a CMP onto the second one and just go for the Icy Wind. This will lower their attack, and they actually shield that too, which is actually kind of surprising because they could have survived that very comfortably. I don't know if that was an undercharge in the Body Slam or if that's just how weak Body Slam is. Either way, we're going to come in with the Malamar, and then I believe I go for an Earth Power catch here on the Dunsparce, because I don't think my Dunsparce is going to have any more play in this match. And it is the Earth Power, so it's a huge catch. We get this full Psy Wave down. Wiggly comes in only to get Psy Wave down, and what's in the back is a Mandibuzz. So that's actually pretty unfortunate, and they're on Air Slash. Malamar has a pretty poor matchup here. We are going to go foul play basically until they shield the first one. Fortunately for us, Air Slash does generate energy a lot slower. That being said, we grabbed a shield, so now we can go straight superpower in this matchup. They're just basically farming up to back-to-back moves, or actually they're committing to the full Air Slash farm down. We go for the superpower. This won't quite take out, I think. Oh right, this is the video showcasing me lagging out, which is just excellent. I think I cut it, so it shouldn't last too much longer. Yeah, but awesome lag out there. Don't think we were gonna win that game either way, but it sucks to see it happen anyways. They come in with an Azu. We don't have an immediate answer here, so we are just gonna chip with the Drill Run and then come in with Wiggly. They had a Charge-a-Bug on the lead, so that was obviously a good lead, which is why they switched out. They build up to the Play Rough, they go for the Play Rough. I'm going to throw the Swift on CMP with the next Play Rough, but this won't quite take out, which is pretty unfortunate. But I do need to maintain switch here, just because we do not want to see double super effective X's on our Malamar. I can't really afford to throw in great timing here, so we're just going to go for the Swift as soon as we get it. We could have potentially gone up to the Icy Wind, but we didn't really want them to throw, and then they come in with a Diggersby. So this is a matchup where it kind of sucks to be at a shield disadvantage just because Diggersby is so bulky, right? That being said, we've already taken it down to 50% HP. They will go for the Scorching Sands here, but now they just have to go for a Fire Punch, and they do outpace. A little bit of lag there, pretty unfortunate. Fire Punch won't take out, actually, right here, yeah. So that allows us to go for a Superpower, which means we can grab a shield, and they're just about in drill run range, so at this point, no point in getting farmed down. And then they throw on alignment, which is huge because we actually need that extra energy generation. And we're going to go for the drill run here. We wait the turn to make sure they don't get the catch. And then we're going to go for one in the move probably with the, oh, we're no shielding. Because they have back-to-back X scissors here. And we CMP tied them with the Rock Slide, which is nice. But they are at back-to-back moves here, so we have to catch the second one, which we do. This is absolutely crazy work going on. We're doing everything we can to stay in this matchup. We're going to go for 1, 2 in the move here, which means the second Volt Switch won't register, but we're just too low at this point, and we do not come out with a move loaded, unfortunately. And so the Diggersby will get the Quick Attack farm down, and we do, unfortunately, lose that game. So 2 hard losses right away, but I promise this team is really good, and you'll see in the upcoming battles. So Licky, this is a very neutral lead for us. We're just going to go for the drill run. I believe Dunsparce wins the zeros. I'm actually not confident on that. It might be depending on what their moveset is. If they are going to Body Slam Shadow Ball, maybe. If they have an Earthquake, however, which we correctly shield up, then maybe now we can take the ones. We will see what my opponent decides to do. And they do farm up. This isn't enough for another Earthquake, so this will do some pretty significant damage. And then it looks like I'm not going to get the full farm down. It looks like that actually might have been a CMP tie. And they let that go. And it's a Poliwrath in the back. So I wouldn't be surprised if I chip here and then I come in Malamar. There's no point in really getting farmed down here, yeah. Because that leaves me to have a catch in the back later in the game if I need it. They do build up to a Scald, but they bait with the Icy Wind, and then they come in with a Driftblim, which is not a great answer to an up energy Malamar. So we'll do what we can here. Honestly, they should have forced me to throw the energy at the Poliwrath because they don't really need it anymore for the Dunsparce, which is already out. But now we grab both shields. They can only go for Icy Wind here, but we will still shield this up. And then we'll probably just catch the next Icy Wind on Dunsparce, which we do. So that also resets the Icy Wind debuff on us and takes care of the Dunsparce for the catch. They do undercharge it, but that undercharge isn't going to do anything for them at this point. They come back in with the Poliwrath, but at this point it's too late. We've got the Swift loaded. This will KO the Poliwrath, assuming we don't lag out again. Okay, this time my opponent just force quit the app. And the Driftblim will come back in and get charmed down. Into the next match, Talonflame on the lead. So this is a great lead. We're going to stay in. They come in with a Toxapex. We're going to drill run and then probably come in with Malamar. Because we do want our Dunsparce to be aligned on the Talonflame later on. I will shield a Sludge Wave here because it will hurt, and there's no way they're going to bait on the first. And now we're just going to overfarm as much as we can, and then fire off the Foul Play right before they get to the next move. And this means that they cannot shield this because we're already at back-to-back. And that will allow us to get a lot of chip here onto this Talonflame, which is also really nice. Especially if they try and commit to the full farm down, because we're going to get to 2 foul plays here. This will threaten a shield, so we grab that shield back, which is great. And if they don't throw, yeah, we're going to make it to another move. So we actually force them to throw their energy as well, which is nice. Because now we can just come back with the Dunsparce, and it's a Superior in the back. Probably be safe and shield the first, but they might bait because they know Wigglies. We're actually going to no shield the first, which is a risky move. They're going to make it to 2 moves before we make it to the Icy Wind either way, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And they full send a Frenzy Plant both times, which is crazy. They could have just Aerial Ace at that range. Now we're going for the Icy Wind. This will get them quite low, and that puts them basically in farm down range. And at this point, yeah, they're too low. They just can't take care of the Wiggly and the Dunsparce. Okay, Sandslash in the lead. This is a pretty neutral matchup, but we do have super effective coverage, so I'd say it's slightly positive. They're probably inclined to go for good timing on the first and then maybe go for a catch after one in the move. Let's see if that's what they do. I wait the turn to see the second Powder Snow go through though, making sure that they don't catch, and then I'm gonna let this go and then probably snipe with the Wiggly, to be honest, because it is resisted, but they're not gonna make it to another move before we get the charm down, so that's actually huge. And then they come in with an Azu, and then they just go straight Ice Beam. So I'm gonna no shield this. I'm gonna get off the Swift, and then we are probably gonna play to a CMP tie on the next Ice Beam, I would imagine. Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Swift, get this off on the next Ice Beam. So we get the chip, and this forces them to expend all of their energy. And then we can just come in with Malamar and get a nice Psywave farm down, which is huge, and they have a Drifblim in the back. So we're going to go for the foul play, making sure to throw in good timing. This foul play obviously will get shielded. They go for the Icy Wind right away. I had a feeling they wouldn't because I feel like that would be super obvious and I could go for a very easy catch. And I do go for the catch this time, and it looks like it was delayed, but we do get it, which is kind of nice. That resets the Icy Wind debuff, and we will get to 2 foul plays here before they are able to Astonish, farm us down, or get to another Icy Wind. So get off the second foul play. This will be enough to KO, and then Psywave versus Bubble. Who will get the farm down first? It's the Malamar, and we're able to take that win. Into nice max Diggersby. So this is not a good lead. We're probably going to get out into Malamar, and most Diggersby like to throw chip before they dip. So what I recommend is when you come in with the Malamar, pretty much throw the foul play as soon as you get it, because that will be on good timing because of the 1-turn switch. So you'll actually be throwing on 13, and it desyncs the switch timer, and it removes the potential that they can get the attack debuff on the Scorching Sands. That being said, they're staying in this matchup, and then they come in with Feraligatr after we've grabbed a shield from them with the superpower. This superpower will do decent chip, and then we come in with Dunsparce. The reason we're not coming in with Wiggly is because Wiggly still has play in this matchup, whereas Dunsparce doesn't have much play into Diggersby, right? So we're just going to play out this matchup, and if they decide to shield this, then we would just come in with Wiggly and 2 shield farm down. But they don't. They come in with the Diggersby. This will just about KO. Pull is deep in the red. Looks like they got another attack debuff, so the debuff percentage chance not going our way in this matchup. We get the chip, come in with Wiggly. Probably going to shield everything here. They're probably going to bait, but we have to shield. We're going to start using our shields at some point, right? And they're going to go for that Fire Punch bait, but they're not going to get to another. So we can just get the full charm down. And what is that Pokemon in the back? And it's a Corsola. So sorry, opponent, this is not going well for you. It is straight 5 to the Power Gem, so we obviously can't catch the first. So we're just going to shield it. We're just going to respect the first. They do go for the Power Gem. Not really any point in baiting there. And then I wouldn't be surprised if after throwing this Icy Wind, we don't need to, but we can go for a very fancy catch here. And we do. We get a catch on the 1 HP Malamar. Completely unnecessary, but they can't reset the debuff, so it doesn't really matter. And then we get the full charm farm down to take the win. Not that a Power Gem would have been nearly enough at that point once they were debuffed, but Toxapex in the lead. So this is a pretty good matchup. We're going to throw on 5 just to make sure we're throwing on good timing. And they're staying in this matchup, which tells me they've probably got a double weakness to Dunsparce. I'm imagining something weak to Rock in the back. So I will shield this up. It's going to be the Sludge Wave. They're not going to bait. And we're farming up as much as we can, making sure we have a lot of residual energy in this matchup. Get off that drill run. And looks like we're not going to quite get the farm down. So we're forced to throw the drill run. And we do take that KO, and then it's a Marowak in the back. And so there's the double weakness to Dunsparce. They've got a Galarian Moltres. So we're gonna go for the foul play here. It's not a bait. It's just I don't want to lower my attack and defense yet, and they actually shield it, which is huge. Which means now we can go straight superpower, even before they even make it to the ancient power. And if they do not throw, I'm gonna make it to another one. So we're gonna get off a second superpower here. This will do some decent chip. Yeah, they're down in the yellow now. And at this point, we can just sacrifice our Dunsparce. And they do throw on good timing, one on the move. Which is fine. We can just let this go. They Brave Bird too. We're going to come in with Wiggly, and at this point, they're just basically in charm range. So we will shield this up. Probably just go for the Swift as soon as we get it, because they're probably already at back-to-back moves. And get off that Swift. Not quite enough to KO. We will have to take this Bone Club. But we get the charm down, and then we charm down the Moltres to take the win. Into the next match, we've got a Quagsire in the lead. So this is obviously not a great lead, ground resisting the rollout. Coming with Malamar, and they have Amanda Buzz in the back. So obviously you're seeing Malamar, not the greatest safe switch, even though it's ranked super high, just because so many people have these Dark Flyers at leaderboard elo, it seems like. So Moltres and Mandibuzz absolutely everywhere. But we will play out this matchup. Now we're just going to start going for the superpowers. We've gotten enough decent chip on them, so we may as well. We've got them in the yellow. Let's get them even deeper in the yellow. This probably won't even put them in the red. Oh, it does. It puts them in the red, and then we come back in with a Dunsparce. So why are we doing that? Just because with an energy advantage, this matchup isn't that bad. And then I thought they were going to full send the Stone Edge here. It makes no sense that they would go for an Aqua Tail there. And then they throw an Aqua Tail away, right away again, and on poor timing. So at this point, I just let that go. And then we're going to get off this drill run. Is the switch timer up yet? I wouldn't be surprised if we come back in with the Malamar. We do. Force them to come back with the Mandibuzz. This forces them to throw their energy, which is nice. Aerial Ace does take us out from that range, but now we can probably come in with Wiggly and fully charm them down, because they're also in charm range. This forces them to only go for an Aerial Ace. We're not going to shield an Aerial Ace from Mandibuzz. That just doesn't do much damage. What is that Pokemon in the back that they do not want to show us? Are we going to see it? It's a Charjabug, so that's pretty interesting. And we actually get a catch there onto our Dunsparce, so that's pretty huge. And we get the rollout sneak, and then they don't throw right away, so that allows us to get to another Rock Slide, making sure to throw in good timing as well. And if they don't throw, if they commit to the farm down, we're going to get to another Rock Slide. So my opponent doing everything they can to throw this matchup. They double shield, but we have the Swift loaded. Swift will be enough to KO from this range, and it does. And at this point, they've got the 1 HP Quagsire, and we're able to take that game. So my opponent double weak to the rock in the back, so it was a good thing we saved the Dunsparce. Okay, so Clodsire in the lead in this match. Clodsire is kind of a neutral matchup, just because drill runs are super effective, but it takes 3 because Clodsire is so tanky, and Earthquake does 2-shot Dunsparce, just because it's such a hard-hitting move, even with its nerf several seasons ago. We do get off 2 drill runs, and we get the correct shield call on the Earthquake, which is nice because now we can take this in the 1-0. If they shield back, that's fine. Then we'll just take the soft loss and come in with Malamar. But they actually let that go, and then they come in with the Gastron. Looks like they get 1 turn switch, which is unfortunate. But we're just gonna chip with the drill run and then come in with Malamar, because we want to see what that Pokemon in the back is. And actually, let me get to the foul play because they're farming up to the Earth power to even threaten the shield. And then I think I shield this going down 2 shields because I don't know what's in the back yet. And it's a Feraligatr, so that proves to be a big mistake. That being said, we grab the first shield, and if they They overfarm perfectly right before I make it to my next move. We can survive one Hydro Cannon on Wiggly, so I'll probably just come in with Wiggly, and then just go for 2 more charms, and then probably the catch. One charm and the catch. So yeah, because it was right as they were getting to their move, and they knew the charm was gonna pretty much take them out. So, and then they get farmed down on the Gastrodon, and they're gonna get farmed down on the Feraligatr. So fortunately, that's the 5-0, and we are able to take the win. Yeah, that's the team. That's the video. This team took me to, I think, like I said earlier in the video, 2570 elo, which was at the time of recording just short of leaderboards, which were low 2600s. This team is really safe. Obviously, Dunsparce only has really one weakness, and that is fighting. So naturally, you have 2 things that are good against fighters in the back. Malamar is more your safe switch, and then Wigglytuff in the back. But yeah, overall, the team worked out really well. I think all 3 Pokemon are very safe in this meta, and they also cover each other's weaknesses decently well. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, peace.